Welcome to CHW Studios, and today we are going to be recapping the movie Black Panther. The film kicks off by introducing us to Emily, a young woman strolling through the Swiss Alps. The scene transitions to Emily and her husband, Andreas, traveling in a car. They arrive at a deserted house in the woods. A few years ago, Emily's parents passed away, leaving her to fend for herself. Taking over her father's business with her husband, they now struggle to manage their finances. To overcome their challenges, the couple decides to sell Emily's childhood home for financial relief. The proceeds would aid them in rebuilding their business and resolving their issues. While exploring the house, Emily reminisces about her delightful childhood memories. Despite the nostalgia, she remains determined to sell the house. That afternoon, Emily's younger brother Jacob pays her a visit. Since Jacob has been studying abroad, the siblings haven't seen each other in years. Emily is thrilled to see Jacob and playfully notes that her little brother has outgrown her in height. When Emily introduces Jacob to Andreas, Jacob doesn't express much enthusiasm and heads to his room without acknowledging Andreas. In the middle of the night, Jacob checks on Emily and senses that she isn't as cheerful as before. Emily is puzzled about her brother's midnight visit. The next morning, Emily and Andreas strive to connect with potential buyers for the house. Andreas engages in a call with a potential buyer, but falls short of closing the deal. With limited connections in the area, their efforts to sell the house prove fruitless. Andreas bids farewell to Emily before heading back to the city for a business meeting. In the subsequent scene, we learn that Jacob's life is more stable than Emily's. He's a professional skateboarder who has traveled to various cities. While riding his skateboard down the street, Jacob enters a store to make a few purchases. There, he comes across a newspaper article reporting a Black Panther sighting in someone's backyard. The local government advises residents to stay indoors due to the potential danger. When Jacob exits the store, he encounters Andreas. Andreas requests him to look after his sister during his business trip, but grows irritated by Jacob's carefree demeanor. Tidying up the house. As Emily discards some unnecessary items, Jacob discusses their plans to sell the house. He asserts his ownership share and expresses a feeling of neglect from his older sister. Emily refutes this, affirming that she holds a special place for him in her heart. Following this conversation, Jacob informs Emily about the Black Panther, urging her to be cautious in town. That night, Emily, feeling lonely without Andreas, engages in some office work. She misses her husband, but is also grappling with complex emotions that she has yet to comprehend. Does she harbor affection for her brother? One night, as she prepares to sleep, Jacob quietly approaches. He positions himself on the staircase observing Emily as she changes into her nightclothes. The following morning, Jacob decides to keep Emily company, sensing her potential boredom. He explores the garage, discovering his father's old motorcycle in disrepair. Determined, he spends the next few hours fixing it. When finished, Jacob invites Emily for a ride down memory lane. The siblings traverse empty roads surrounded by mountains and trees, reveling in the scenic views. They park the motorcycle by a mountain. As they rest by the rocks, Jacob opens up about his feelings, expressing how much he missed her. Emily reciprocates, expressing her desire for their past closeness. They embark on a stroll through the woods, reminiscing about childhood memories. Jacob shares his dream of climbing a mountain with their father, a plan now shattered. The next day, while doing chores, Emily discloses her plans to sell the house for their family business, leaving Jacob unfazed. During their close interaction, it becomes apparent that their love story was left unfinished years ago, when their parents were alive. The siblings take a walk through the woods, and Emily, surprising herself, feels romantic love for Jacob despite being married to someone else. In that moment, she envisions a life with Jacob. In his absence, she places the signed papers in his car and departs. In the movie's final scene, Andreas comes to the realization that Emily is willing to do anything to be with Jacob. Emily ventures into the woods in search of her brother once again,